Welcome to my Zone 9A garden. It's been about a month since we've taken a look around, and as you can see, everything's going crazy. So let's go see what I have. So this is the first area of my vegetable garden. Along this trellis, I have determinate tomatoes, Roma and Principal Borghese, a little small tomato. I also have some flowers scattered in. Let's take a closer look. In this little grow bag, my original plan was to have a little berry patch. I bought bare-rooted strawberries, none of them worked. So this is just a zinnia patch now. And right now there's one blooming. It's really pretty red. I don't know any of the names, unfortunately, because I didn't label them, but totally gorgeous. As I said earlier, this trellis is filled with determinate tomatoes. This year I want to try to can some sauce, so let's see what is on the plants. I have this calendula plant, huge. I tried to deadhead some of it yesterday, but when this is like this, you should pick them off so you get more blooms. This is my Roma tomato, and where are they? This one is not looking the healthiest, but we have little baby Romas. This is a Principe Borghese. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but I'm gonna use these and sun dry them, and they're just loaded with little baby tomatoes, so hopefully we get a bunch. This is another zinnia spot. In case you couldn't tell, I love zinnias. They're my favorite flower. It's a really beautiful magenta. Yeah. Right here I have some more calendula and also Cosmo. Apricot Cosmo or lemonade, I can't remember. And this is my bachelor's button. In this long bed right here, for whatever reason, I think because there's so many sunflowers. Look at that big mama. Mongolian sunflower. And this one is a autumn beauty sunflower that comes in different colors. This one is yellow. It's going crazy. The bees love it. And then I have this dahlia and this little baby dahlia. I'm trying to save these Merlot lettuce seeds. And we have a little bitty gray zucchini. This will be my third one off of this plant. And more zinnias. And then we have another bachelor's button right here. Pink and beautiful. I'm starting to grow beans up this trellis, and they are just climbing. The back ones are already halfway there, so that's pretty cool. And they're little purple beans, I'll show you. And I usually pick them about this size. I've just been stir frying them or eating them like raw out of the garden. What's growing here is a honey nut squash. So I've been having some problems with it. I do have a couple that are growing really well. Where are they? Oh, there they go. So here's some. But a lot of them, especially on this lighter colored vine, the fruits pop up yellow. I wish I could find one to show you. I don't see it though. Oh, here's one that's kind of already died off, but yeah, so they pop up yellow and then they just die off. And I started to water it every day. I was only doing it every 3, which I think was not enough for this plant. And it seems to be getting better. The leaves are green, less yellow. And then I've been waiting since January for this Coreopsis to bloom. And I finally have it. And I have another plant with more blooms, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But I'm just like so excited. Underwhelming? Maybe. This is the first of my smaller raised beds. Now, in the springtime, I had a lot of spinach, lettuce, Swiss chard, and all of that has kind of died back. And I started to plant some peppers in here. That's what I replaced. And with the ongoing Peppergate, apparently there has been some supply chain mistake, and people are planting jalapenos and getting shishitos, planting bell peppers and getting cayennes. So it's pretty much Russian roulette at this point of what kind of peppers I'm gonna get. I know they're different because they look a little bit different to me, but only time will tell what I actually get for my pepper plants this year. I have about 6 mystery pepper plants at this point. But let's take a closer look at this bed and see what we got going on. Marigold, more zinnias. echinacea. I picked this up from a nursery. Most of the stuff I was able to start from seed, and then I had a Swiss chard here. I didn't know what to put there after I tried it out, so I thought an echinacea would be a cool thing to put there, especially this bright red one. I have oregano there. This was so small. It was a little baby plant because there was a lot of shade in this area. There still is a lot of shade in this area, but after removing some of the plants, it's just really flourished and taken off. I need to dry some or do something with it. I don't know. Any advice on what to do with oregano? This is one of the pepper plants. This is supposedly a poblano. We will see if that actually ends up happening. This is one that I topped off, same pepper poblano. More apricot zinnias, or no, cosmos. And another autumn beauty sunflower has popped up here. So big. No flower head yet though. We're in it for the long haul, guys. What else do I have in this bed? Let's go around this way. So I have more cosmos right here. These ones really need to be deadheaded though. I've been trying to keep up as much as I can because I just want these to bloom all the way until the fall time if I can make it happen. And we have little bitty itty bitty beans. This is a dragon tongue bush bean. This was not growing for a long time and it just started taking off. This pepper plant, cayenne, hopefully. And this one is a lemon spice jalapeno. So that one should be pretty neat. If I can get the right ones, I want to make some salsa. Right now, this might be my favorite area of the garden. We had some really strong wind here about a week ago. This sunflower had to be like 13 feet high, but the wind kind of pushed it over a little bit. So now it's acting as like a false archway for me. And when it blooms, all the sunflowers are just going to be taken over. And this is another autumn beauty sunflower, but if you look, they stand straight up. It's so cool how the plants are able to adapt to whatever, because normally they're sticking straight out like this plant. See how they go up like that? This is the same exact sunflower. And this one is growing straight up from the archway. I cannot wait to take some cool pictures under this. Favorite part of the garden for sure. One of the first things I wanted to do this year was have a tomato wall. That was just like in my vision board of the garden. And I could not be more happy with the results. All of these are different types of independent tomatoes. And you're supposed to stop them like once they get to the top, but I'm just gonna let this go wild, see what I can get. Let's go check out our tomato wall, get a better look at it. This is a Mexican sunflower. The reviews I read said they got like 6 feet tall, so I was thinking it would provide a little bit of shade for the tomatoes in the afternoon, but yeah, as you can see, it's an itty bitty baby dwarf plant, which is okay. I don't mind that. This is Thornburns terracotta. So this year, I don't know if it's because it's in the grow bags or what, I've been dealing with a lot of not blossom end rot. Is that what it's called? Where you have inconsistent watering or lack of calcium. So everything I was reading was telling me to water more regularly. So I started watering these daily. I don't know what that is. They said it could have been bug damage when I looked it up online. I'm still very new to all this stuff, so if you know, drop a comment below. This plant is my spoon tomato. And you can't really see it, but there are some itty bitty babies there. Sunrise bumblebee tomato is right here. It's really cool. We've got some color peeking through on here, so that should be picked. I'll pick that this afternoon. Surprise, surprise. Another zinnia. This is a Dr. White Cheese plant. I know I have one. Yeah, these guys are really big, the fruit on here. Beautiful. Brad's Atomic. This bad boy was hit so bad by the ends being rotten. There were some on here, but I think I mostly picked it off. But yeah, they're like these little, I don't know how to describe the shape, oblong tomato. They're really good, really sweet, not too acidic. I've already eaten a bunch of these. Another rosemary. This is a pink bumblebee tomato. Those are pretty good too. And my other coreopsis. That is actually 3 plants, but only one's blooming. This is a mortgage lifter. Now this guy, all of the tomatoes I've had on here, and I've had no problems with any of my other plants doing this, but these ones, they've started cracking, which I'm gonna probably take that off this afternoon so that it doesn't crack further. I probably will not do this variety again. I was not really pleased with the results. This is I think it's a Napa Rose blush tomato. Pretty also. This one has gone crazy. So it goes up here to the top of the trellis and then it goes over. This was one of those crazy ones I was telling you about, but yeah, so cool. And my favorite plant this year has been this beautiful Dr. White Cheese tomato, witchy's, white cheese, however you say it. The fruit has just been coming in like crazy. I'm gonna be tomato rich in like a week, just wait. And of course some mint, a little bit of mint. I wanted to dedicate a whole bed to flowers, and mostly these are zinnias. I had beets here early in the year, but I have a lot of really beautiful colored zinnias, and also I planted some sunflowers. So this is like a Astrid sunflower, something like this, and this is also where that giant sunflower archway grew. The cool thing is not even all of my zinnias have bloomed yet, and I'm already amazed with the color that it's brought to the garden. It's not really much to show, but we do have some stuff going on. So the little planters down here, thyme and rosemary, I just cut that back so that hopefully it will get bushier. This is a bee balm plant, not entirely sure. It could be salvia. It has not bloomed yet, so I can't give you the correct answers. And all this is zinnias. I did have some beets planted on the edges as you saw in my earlier videos. But right now we just have all these little pops of color coming up. Totally in love with zinnias. I cannot express to you, they're super easy to grow. And a good beginner flower. And then here's my archway again. Beautiful. Good. Oh my God. I'm so amazed every time I look at it. I do have some more dwarf sunflowers hidden in here. This is called, I think, a golden coin sunflower, and it's just so fluffy. I did put a little trellis to help support the sunflower that toppled over, so hopefully that will allow us to save it. I just ran into something. Let's enter in this front area of the garden. So these are the 2 raised beds that are closest to the sidewalk, and we'll do the archway, what's growing on them. Little bitty dwarf sunflower, again, love it. Some dragon tongue bush beans. I planted these kind of throughout the garden. And then we have a Kajari melon. I've got 2 that I hand pollinated, so hopefully those are successful. Chives again, with first chive blossom showing, and I do love it. Lettuce leaf basil, Genovese basil. And then if we go to this other side of the archway, mystery sunflower, don't know what it is, popped out of nowhere. Another Kajari melon right here. This is a Keiho Japanese watermelon, and it doesn't look like I have very many babies on here. There is that one that I tried to hand pollinate. We will see if I was successful. And more chives. I heard they were great companion plants. More Genovese basil, marigolds, and then I have my bean bag. So if you look, this trellis is loaded with little purple beans. Really good tender, and surprise, zinnia again. Another zinnia again. These are dragon tongue bush beans and jade bush beans. This didn't end up being as prolific as I wanted it to be, but I'm gonna have more than my share of beans from this archway and the archway over there, so I can't really complain. This is a calendula plant that might be coming towards its end. It's getting kind of yellow. This is the last area of my garden. 2 more small raised beds, and I have one that's dedicated to cucumbers. and I have pepper plants and Zapalito del Tronco squash plants, and it's doing really well. This was the garden bed I was telling you about when I was talking about sunflowers being allelopathic. Doesn't look like it has sucked much nutrients from these plants. This is one of my most like rich areas of the garden. Everything has really flourished in this bed. I could not be happier with the results, except when we get a closer look, I'll tell you exactly my struggles here. So this is my cucumber trellis. I think I have some on here, right here. Tokyo green cucumber. Whoop. I can't get it to focus. Tokyo green cucumber. I've harvested maybe like 3 of these. They're pretty good. Really crispy, or I don't know if that's the word, crisp maybe. And then I have my Parisian pickling cucumber, which you can probably see better from this side. But yeah, there we go. I did make some refrigerator pickles. They ended up tasting like Lucas, lemon lime flavored Lucas. If you know, you know. I didn't care for it. My fiance seemed to really like it, so I guess someone's gonna eat them. And what else do I have? Another dragon tongue bush bean here. Oregano and a marigold tucked under. This is a Coreopsis plant again, and another one of these Astrid sunflowers. I'm addicted to their beauty. We'll swing over to this side of the garden bed. So here I'm trying to grow this Zapalito del Tronco squash vertically. I saw this online. Gonna try it out. We will see what ends up happening. But these plants, or this squash, is a round squash. Good baby. Right there. I have some Thai basil. I don't know what kind of peppers these are. I'm assuming shishito. They were supposed to be mini bell pepper. That is not a mini bell pepper. That is something else. Another squash plant. Another of these Astrid sunflowers. And more beautiful flowers here. Good, bad, I don't know. Another calendula, bee balm salvia mystery. And this has been my favorite bachelor button. Tons and tons of blooms. This is a dahlia plant. I don't know what makes plants bloom. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out yet. Been waiting and waiting for this to get some flower blossoms on it. They're finally here. And it's huge. Was not expecting it to be taller than the eggplant that's hidden behind it. So, that's another dahlia. Another Cosmo. Autumn Beauty. Sunflower. The prettiest of them all. This right here is a shishito plant. I know this is a shishito. It doesn't have the pointed ends, so I don't know what that plant is on the other side. Ping tongue eggplant here. This has been the guy that's been giving me such a hard time this season. The flowers were falling off left and right. I don't know if it was too cold or what, but I have my first eggplant. I have my first eggplant there. So excited. If I only get one, so be it. And I got more of these pretty mama zinnias. Right here is a white eggplant. They're little itty bitties. There's one in there. It hasn't come out of the little casing yet, but I see it and I'm ready for it. So that is the end of my garden tour for June. We're going into July. It's gonna be really hot here for this weekend coming up. Triple digit weather. What is going to survive? What is going to die? And is the garden gonna be a lot more yellow when I see you next? Thanks for coming and looking at my garden with me.